Hi, and welcome to the Awesome Ladies Project monthly storytelling mini workshop. It's June 2017, and this month's theme is travel. So, what does travel look like for you? Why are we documenting travel here at the Awesome Ladies Project? We're going to be spending the next month talking about how travel affects our lives. That's where we're going to be finding the best stories to document. This month's theme, travel, is a great way to look at stories that take place when you're not in your natural, everyday habitat. So, why do we, as awesome ladies, care about travel? Because we want to focus on what's important to you. One of the big reasons I want to spend this month talking about travel is because it is a distinctly separate state from being at home. When we're at home, we are usually comfortable, we're usually settled into a routine, and living our everyday lives. When we travel, we're outside of our comfort zone, we're doing different things, and we're seeing things from a totally different perspective. When we're traveling, we're emphatically not at home. We are moving, we're in motion, we're transporting ourselves from one place to another. This month's topic is about travel, not about vacation, not about holiday. We're talking travel. So, what is travel for you right now? One of my big philosophies is to document the right now. So, I think it's important to take some time this month and think about the right now. So, which stories should you be documenting this month? Maybe you travel for work, maybe you travel for fun. Maybe you travel to different countries. Maybe you're a local traveler. I think the best way to start is to think about your style. Are you an everyday documenter? Are you a big adventure documenter? Do you like documenting a single event or a series? Think about these things. If you haven't already grabbed the workbook, there's a mind map in there. You can print that out and start jotting down your ideas for travel. I want you to be brave. I want you to tell the stories of you as a traveler. Share the stories of you as an adventurer. Believe in the stories of yourself and let that guide your voice. Let that lead you to the stories that you want to tell. If you are an everyday documenter, maybe you want to focus on the similarities between your everyday at home life and your everyday traveling life. If you are a big adventure documenter, maybe you want to lean into that and focus on the biggest part of your traveling, the greatest adventure during your big adventure. If you are a single event scrapbooker, concentrate on the coolest part or the worst part or a single story and, make that your scrapbook page. If you love series, um, mini albums, totally. Me, mini albums. Go mini albums. Remember, as long as you're creating, you are totally doing it right. Maybe you want to make a top 10 album of the best places you've traveled. Maybe you want to make a layout of the best place you've ever traveled. Maybe you're like me and you have a stack of your mini albums over on the side of your desk of all the latest places that you've been to that you need to get going on. Um, whatever it is that you have, whatever stories that you have, whatever stories that you want to write, whatever stories that you want to tell, whatever stories that you want to create, as long as you are creating, you're doing it right. As long as you are being authentic and telling your stories, you are doing it right, and there isn't anyone who can tell you otherwise. Let's move on to the details and let's craft a plan of action. So, the hardest part about being creative is the decision making process. And one of the best ways to overcome this hurdle is to make some decisions up front. These decisions don't have to be set in stone, but they will be your personal guidelines for your project. And this is especially true for a project that you might come back to um, over a few sessions at your craft table. Having some personal guidelines will make it super easy to remember what you want to create, even when you're not at your craft table. So, what type of project are you going to create this month? Simple layout, mini album, pocket pages. What story are you telling? Um, big story, little story, vacation story, travel story, in country, out of country, on a plane story, uh, road trip story. Are you going to be incorporating this into an existing memory keeping project, like your Project Life album or Day in the Life? Or are you going to be creating something totally new? Do you have all of the supplies you need, or do you need to make a list and figure out where you need to go and get those? Do you have any special travel supplies? Like, I keep some postcards and some memorabilia from each of my trips, and I would definitely grab those if I was going to get started on any other travel related projects. So, this is one more way that I want to have you think about your travel related stories before we embark on this theme for the month. First, I want to take a look at photos. Let's look at our theme this month of travel through the lens of photos. When you're thinking about travel, which of your photographs come to mind? For me, it's airport selfies. I think that the floor to ceiling windows makes for such fantastic lighting. Huge fan. I also think of really big landscapes that get in a lot of the wildlife and the trees and really can show off what it looks like to be in a different place. Maybe you're the same, maybe something a little bit different. Um, Now, the lens of words. When you're thinking about your travel related story, what words come to mind? Are you a list journaler? Are you a Dear Diary type every night travel journaler? Do you like to wait until you return from a trip to write your words down? Um, it depends on, for me, what kind of trip I'm doing. Uh, I usually like to keep a little bit of a notebook. My currently cards are really good for this. I always like to jot a little something down because there's always a few little, like right now, stories that you never really go back and either remember or think they're worth talking about. But if you take the time in the moment to record them, they have inherent value. So I'd like to challenge you to spend some time on your next travel documenting in the moment, even if you don't get a chance to do it this month. And our last lens that I'd like to take a look at through is style. So when you're thinking about your travel projects, what supplies do you want to use? What do you want your project to look like? What do you want your project to feel like? Do you want a really photo heavy project? Do you want a mixed media style project? When you think of your travel, when you think of your journey, what feelings do you get? And for me, it's all over the place. Um, in this month's project video, I'm sharing a bunch of my different travel albums, and you'll see how each of my trips, I have a different feeling, and each of those is expressed through the style. And maybe that's the same for you, maybe that's different, maybe you like to keep a similar style throughout all of your travel projects, and maybe not. But each of these three lenses, photos, words, and style, are a great way to take a look at your travel related stories. So what's next? Next, you can head back to the Awesome Ladies Project classroom. And if you haven't already downloaded the workbook, you can make that happen. And you can get started working on your personal Awesome Ladies project. If you haven't finished all of the lessons in this month's classroom, you can go ahead and do that too. Make sure you join us in the forums. We'd love to know what you think about travel in media representation, and we can't wait to see what you create. And I know they say that every month, but it is so true. Is my favorite part about doing all of this, is my favorite part about connecting with you. I love seeing the things that you make. And if you share on social media, I would absolutely love if you tagged us and use the hashtag the Awesome Ladies Project. If you want to reach out to me personally, you can email me hello@theawesomeladiesproject.com, and you can also reach me directly on our community website. In the classroom, you click on the button Contact Course Teacher, and if you want to send me a direct message, you can friend me, and then I'm Are You Kristen? And we can send direct messages back and forth. And remember, as long as you're creating, you are doing it right. And I am so excited to talk to you in the community. Thank you so much for being here.